Hello and welcome to the Case of the Golden Idol. This is a game which has been heavily recommended to me. It's the only game that people bring up when I mention I like Obra Dinn. People are like, you've got to play the Case of the Golden Idol. And initially, I'll admit the art style is a little bit off-putting. But I've tried a little bit of the tutorial just to see how the game plays, and I can definitely see where it's going to get some depth, and I can see where some of the comparisons lie. So, we're going to jump into the game, and we're going to see if we can solve the case of the Golden Idol. So, let's start with a new game. Now, you have two options of playing, which is with highlights or no highlights. Basically, the difference with no highlights is that what we'll see is me doing this along the screen trying to click on everything. I'm quite happy to play with highlights. This is the recommended experience. I think this is what we're going to go with. Basically, I'm here for the deductive, detective solving side of things. I'm not too interested in finding the individual pixels I need to click on. So, let's jump into the recommended experience and prologue. An abrupt termination of contract. And this is us. We're in game, and this is everything the game gives you at the start. Well, there is a tutorial in the corner if you go to it. But for the purposes of this is everything it gives you. Now, there are two phases. The first is exploring. Exploring is basically just the bit that you click on and the bit where you interrogate the information, right? Everything that you need to know is in the exploring phase. The thinking phase is everything that you have to discover. So, there are actually three parts to this. The one on the left is the only thing you actually need to do to progress the game. But the other two bits are meant to lead you into that. So you're meant to go, okay, well, because I know who the people are, I can then work out who pushed who. Because I have done this stuff on this panel, I now know where we are, which is very helpful. So, let's start with some exploring. I knew what you were plotting, you snake. This guy has a pipe, he has a dagger, and he has a note. January 5th, 1742. Both parties agree to these terms for the expedition to Monkey Paw Island. Albert Cloudsley has rights to 2/3 of all valuables for funding the expedition. Oberon Geller has rights to 1/3 of all valuables and any golden statues found for providing the map to the expedition site. One of them is a doctor, which is Oberon Geller. The other one is Esquire Albert Cloudsley. Okay. So if I click their names here, you will see they now appear at the bottom. This means that these people are now available for the thinking phase. So if I happen to know who they are, I can now identify them and use their names to say who they are. Let's have a look at the other guy. Well, he has a scalpel, he has a medicine bottle, and he has the same note on him. I'm going to say if he has a scalpel and a medicine bottle, he is probably the Dr. Oberon Geller. Okay, well this is almost certainly Albert Cloudsley. So, we'd go here and we'd say, well, you are Oberon Geller, and you are Albert Cloudsley. Okay, all identities are filled in correctly, and from what we can see, Albert Cloudsley pushed Oberon Geller from the cliff. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, what else did he have on him? He had a map. This clue has been added to the thinking panel. So what it says when it means that this clue has been added to the thinking panel is, this is now a new panel for you to solve. So, what we're going to do here is we're going to click all of the different bits, just so that we have all the words. And then before we do that, we're going to have a look at the other shiny things over here, which are the packs. So we have one pack which has a tobacco pouch and a pipe cleaner, and 2 bags filled with coins and gems. And the next has a bag of medical instruments, a golden statue with red stone, and a bag filled with coins and gems. So, as we can see, they have followed the terms of their agreement. Albert has 2/3 of the valuables, and on the other side, Oberon has the golden idol plus 1/3 of the valuables. So, why is Albert pushing Oberon off the cliff? I have no idea. I can only assume he's gone mad. But, let's go over here. So, we have to work out where we are. Now, it's helpfully given us this down here. So as we can see, you may think we could be at the ruins of Xenopolis, because X marks the spot. That might be where the treasure is. However, we can see in the background we have 2 rocks. There are 2 rocks in this picture, which means that we are exactly here. If we have a look at it, we must be here. So the camp is in the Horn of Thumb. Fantastic. And from that we can then pull these over here, and we can say that Albert Cloudsley pushed Oberon Geller from a cliff in the Horn of Thumb on Monkey Paw Island. While Oberon Geller was surveying the poor weather with his looking glass, his expedition partner Albert Cloudsley Esquire suddenly pushed him off the cliff. So, this was obviously just a very basic tutorial to show you how things function in this game. But what we do now is we go to scenario selection and we see the next part of the story. So, complications in the family. The untimely passing of a rural gentleman. So, this gentleman appears to have a golden idol. Interesting. Okay. We have a yacht slowly floating in the river. We have a piece of clothing which has been added to the thinking panel. Oh, the horse as well. We then have another piece of clothing added to the thinking panel. And I'm waiting for the horse to come back. We have the horse running in the yard. We have a ladder. We have a book by Henry Clover on lead poisoning. Okay. We have this man right here. He appears to have a head wound. The man is not breathing. His head is badly wounded. Well, yeah, that seems about right. A ring with a ruby. Interesting. So we got the ruby and the golden idol, and he has a ring with a ruby. But the ring has not been stolen, which to me would indicate that there is unlikely to be foul play, at least not a robbery. Let's see what else we've got here. We can see the date is the 23rd of August. And we can assume, based upon this one, that we are probably in Blackfield, as it is the only place with a view of the river. Spontaneous combustion. I, Sebastian Cloudsley, will share my humble contribution to the science of anatomy and chemistry. Okay, and then we have this. August 22nd, 1786. So is this 44 years after the initial one? 40-something years. Okay. 12 o'clock. Woke up. A beautiful day. 12:30. Washed and dressed in my dining attire. 2 o'clock. Had a beautiful roast duck for lunch. 4 o'clock. Changed into my hunting attire. 5 o'clock. Rode to hunt badgers. Had no luck today and returned home. 6 o'clock. Changed to my researching attire. 7 o'clock. Changed to my dining attire. 8 o'clock. Had a tasty beef loin for supper. 10:30. Filled in my diary and went to bed to continue reading from my research. So, this is showing us where he is in the day, and this is for the previous day. So, dining, hunting, researching, and dining. Okay. And now we think, well, this has to be Sebastian Cloudsley, because he is the only person who we have any names for. And therefore, Sebastian Cloudsley has to be the person who passed away. Makes perfect sense to me. We have 3 different bits of attire. This is obviously the dining attire, as he is dining. This one is the research attire, because it's a white coat. And then this is his hunting attire. So, we have now done that. Wonderful. So, Lord of Blank passed away in his bed. So we believe he was the Lord of Blackfield, based upon the map that we saw earlier. So you can see how, even though it's not that much more complicated, this second puzzle is now adding on to what the first one was doing. It's now saying, okay, you now know who he is, you got to figure out where it is, and it's giving you a little less in terms of a guided path through. And I think that's how it's going to keep expanding. This is actually the last one that I did as part of the tutorial before I went, you know what? I think this is going to be interesting. Let's do this. So, the cause of death is obviously a head wound, which occurred when he fell from a horse. How do we know this? Well, we know this because he is in his hunting attire, which would mean that he would be on a horse. Therefore, he fell from the horse. So where is... there we go. Hunting. While the Lord of Blackfield was hunting, his horse threw him off, and he suffered a deadly wound to the head. Okay then. Return to scenario selection. Oh, what's this? Okay, so it's a funeral for Sebastian Cloudsley. So he was born in 1733. This means he was born when the first scenario in the prologue took place. But he would have only been in his teens. Well, if that, he would have actually wouldn't even have been in his teens. So, yeah, probably too young to go on the expedition. Interesting. Okay. Well, let's close this. And let's go to part 3. Which is all new content for me. So, you know how I was kind of composed and calm and I knew everything and all the mysteries? I now know nothing. I know nothing at all. So, get ready for a drastic change in tone. Chapter 1. Complications in the Family. The dramatic departure of an outsider. Well, this person, I think, is in the process of spontaneously combusting. Although, judging by this guy's look, maybe it's not that spontaneous. Anyway. A scorched horse brush. A scorched knife. Apparently, there's nothing interesting I need to know about this fellow. Spare me, devil. I was simply following orders. He has a knife. And Astonishing Monkey Man, property of the Bear Brothers. Or the Pear Brothers, sorry. Okay. Interesting. Does that mean he is a Pear Brother? Now, if it's all the same to you, I will take my leave. Ring with a ruby. An idol with some symbols on it. None of it clickable. But kind of interesting. £1, 2 shillings and 2p. Spontaneous combustion. To perform the combustion trick, you must first cast a freezing spell. The sacred lifts for combustion on the idol. Okay, those 3. I see. Interesting. Interesting. Prepare the carriage for tomorrow. We are to visit my nephew, EC. 2 shillings and a penny. How many did this guy have? £1, 2 shillings and 2p. Okay. A dagger. Ash Blair Finest Tobacco. A saddlebag. Okay. Stable rota for Adam and James. Horse grooming is mostly James, then it's Adam. And stable cleaning is mostly Adam, then it's James. Do it properly, you lazy oafs. Okay. Well, looks like... Oh, we've also got this guy. What an unexpected turn of events. An embroidered handkerchief, so he's EC. Prepare for the carriage for tomorrow. We're to visit my nephew, EC. So EC is going to visit his nephew. He has £3 and 3 shillings. And a London Gazetteer. Monday, September 7th, 1786. Lord Edmund Cloudsley's speech stirs Parliament. Okay, so this is the same year that the previous one took place. I think. Okay. We're close enough. A stiletto blade. Dear Edmund, it has reached my attention that you are seeking a capable new servant. I have just the man for you. David Gorin is an experienced coachman with a diverse set of talents that I'm sure you'll find very useful. If you are displeased with his services, do not hesitate to let me know. Yours, Theo. So that is probably David Gorin there. That would be my assumption. Ooh. That is a funny looking dragon. Inside we have Batley, Cloudsley, and Cubert. So this must be the Batley house. Bat Lord, pair twins, A and J. Oh, so A and J were the pair twins, I see. I would assume that means that is one of the twins, as we have not seen the other. Nicholas Maker, attorney. I would not have expected one of your family to treat a legal document in such a way. I'm appalled. 2 shillings and 3p. A ring with a ruby? So he also has a ring with a ruby. Interesting. Reading of the last will and testament of Sebastian Cloudsley, September 7th, 1786. So yeah, he died in August, and then like a couple of weeks later we have this. So we have Edmund Cloudsley, Rose Hubert, Sebastian Cloudsley, Beatrix Batley, Peter Batley, Willard Wright. So all 4 inheritors are present. Okay. Interesting. It's going to ask me who everyone is in a minute. Down here, we have lots of fragments of things. August. I'm trying to figure out what that is because I'm seeing what word it looks like. It must be jockey. Now, if you'll just forgive me a second, it does look a lot like an F. And there was no way that word was what it was. So that must be Jockey Club Derby. Race, win, place, show, wager. 6 spinning Jenny, £50. Dear Peter Batley, we have sent to you frequent reminders concerning the settlement of your debt, and yet, to date, the debt remains unpaid. We humbly request that you make your payments as soon as possible, or we will be forced to take the matter into our own hands. The debt currently stands at £255. Blackguard and Buck loans. It's a bit much, really. I, Sebastian Cloudsley of Blackfield County, being in bodily health and of sound and disposing mind and memory, nominate and appoint Nicholas Maker as executor of my last will and testament. My dear brother Edmund... Okay, we're probably going to have to piece this together. Dear Willard Wright, Rose Hubert. This clue has been added to the thinking panel. I bequeath to you all the gold. Know what to do with it. Idol of Xenopolis you will. We met so rarely after you left, therefore I bequeath to you Blackfield Manor House, a museum of, for colonies, my savings, land, and house, come home and establish my life and accomplishments. I want you to put your sharp mind to better use than mere politics, therefore I bequeath the notes from my research I've undertaken on astronomy. I grant you leave to finish and publish it under both our names. Late sister, your mother, financial troubles, to me long to help you. I bequeath to you to provide the clearly lack, direction you clearly lack. Disclosed you, and I resolve to compilation of my aphorisms to direction in your life which you so clearly lack. Okay, I see. How many more have we got? We got 4 more things I haven't found. I'm very happy I chose the one that gives me the little flashy bit, because I definitely would not find these. My apologies, he can be so bad here sometimes. 6 rings, none of them ruby. £4. An ornamental Qatar blade. A fan. And Shamal Bat Shimhasana Batizi. But none of those were actually clues. Oh, how about this? Aphorisms by Sebastian Cloudsley. How to be happy. Eat a hearty meal every day and do not waste your time on trivialities, how to avoid being upset. Strive for that which holds meaning and do not shrink from responsibility, how to be inspired. Take a walk in your forest and breathe the fresh air. How to avoid being scared. Feeling scared is a weakness. Be strong instead. Oh, simple. Alright, thinking. Okay, there's quite a lot. Let's just try and work things out bit by bit. So, what can we work out? You are obviously the guy who is your maker. Nicholas Maker, I believe, is your name. That would make you Batley Cubert. Okay. I believe that this is David Gorin because he had the note from this guy saying, go get my carriage ready. This must then therefore be Edmund Cloudsley, EC. You, I have no idea, currently. We know that one of you is Adam and one of you is James. And your last name is Pear. So you must be Pear, I assume. So how do I know which one is which? Oh, you as well. What, the Blazes? August Jockey Club Derby. £35. Okay. So, what have you got on you? You have a knife. That is probably for horse grooming. What day of the week is it? That's a great question. It's September. We know that because we saw it on one of the notes, right? Yeah, the reading was September 7th, 1786. Now, do we have anything in here which gives us a clue as to what September 7th would be? No, but if I go back a step and go here, that doesn't tell me the day either. Never mind. I thought I was very smart, but I'm not. Okay, so September 7th, but what kind of day is it? Now I'm just looking at these documents that each person has. We're to visit my nephew tomorrow. Okay. Yeah. Monday! It is Monday. Okay, so it being Monday would mean that James is on horse grooming. So I will assume that this is James. Therefore you must be Adam. Who are you? That's a great question. Okay, we'll come back to you two. We met so rarely after you left for the colonies, therefore I bequeath you my savings land and a Blackfield Manor home. Come home and establish a museum of my life and accomplishments. Okay. I want you to put your sharp mind to better use than mere politics. I therefore bequeath to you the notes of my research I have undertaken on astronomy. My late sister, your mother, disclosed your financial troubles to me long ago and I resolved to help you. I bequeath to you a compilation of my aphorisms to provide the direction in your life which you so clearly lack. Okay. So my late sister, your mother, disclosed your financial troubles. So who was having financial troubles? If we head over here, we will see, based on one of these, that, there it is. Peter Batley was having financial troubles. Okay. Peter Batley. So I'm assuming that you must be Peter Batley. Bequeath to you the golden idol of Xenopolis. You'll know what to do with it. Not sure, but we can eliminate some other people if we go back. So, we have Rose Cubert, Edmund Cloudsley, Willard Wright. Well, we can make some assumptions here. Yeah, we can make some assumptions that Edmund Cloudsley must be the person who is to come home. So that would be Edmund Cloudsley. Okay. I want you to put your sharp mind to better use than politics. Okay, let's head out here. It's Peter Batley, Rose Kubert. Have we got anything else in here? Notes on astronomy. Does somebody have notes on astronomy on them? Maybe? Maybe that's notes on astronomy? I mean, you're obviously whoever was given the idol. Seeing what other stuff people have been given. Yeah, notes on astronomy. That must be you. This must be notes on astronomy. So whoever you are, you must be the person with notes, which would make you Rose Kubert. Wait a second, that means that you're Rose Kubert. Okay, that's fine. And then Rose Kubert would be over here. And then this person must be Peter. Is it, not Peter? Willard Wright. Must be Willard Wright. Where are we? Willard Wright. These are incorrectly filled in. Oh no. Okay. Well, Peter Batley's obviously this person. See, I was thinking that might be Willard Wright, but I guess it has to be the other way around then. No? Oh, I've got something horribly wrong. Peter Batley, Edmund Cloudsley, Willard Wright, and Rose Kubert. Beatrix Batley was there. Oldest associated. When my sister... Seeing here. So if we go back, he says, my late sister, your mother, disclosed financial troubles to me long ago, and I resolved to help you. I bequeath all to you my compilation of aphorisms to provide direction in your life which you so clearly lack. Was it this way round? Now I'm just clicking buttons. Alright, clear these. I obviously have done something incorrect. I told you the tone was going to change. Alright. So Peter Batley, I think, has to be the person with financial troubles, right? He owes £255. That makes sense. And if we look at this, this shows Beatrix Batley, mother, Peter Batley. So I think Peter Batley is fairly locked in here. I think that he is solidly locked in on this position. Okay. Is there something we can do with the note actually on you? 3 Raging Stallion. Or Raging Sultan. I'm trying to see if there's anything I could get from this guy. Apart from you, is there anything that says who you are? No. Also nothing to say who you are. You have a scorched knife and you have a scorched horse brush. Wait a second. That must mean you're the other way around. Yes. Because the brush is grooming. Okay. Yeah, so they're the other way around, but that doesn't help us at all. No idea who you are. I think you must be David Goran. Okay. I kind of feel like you have to be Willard Wright. Well, I don't know. Who else have we got here? So let's work out who's here. So you know, Edmund Cloudsley is here, and he's the person who's just left out the front door. You know, Rose Kubert is here, which we're assuming has to be you, because we cannot see anyone else who could be Rose Kubert. Willard Wright, an associate, is somewhere. I kind of assume that has to be you, right? That makes sense to me that you're Willard Wright. In fact, I'm going to lock that in here. I'm going to say that you have to be Willard Wright. And then you have to be whoever the last person we don't know is. Which is not too useful. Peter Batley. Rose Kubert. Nicholas Maker, attorney. We're assuming is you. What else have we got on here? 6 spinning jennies, £50. Okay. We have all of those fragments. We know that this is the Batley house. But we have the Cloudsley and the Kubert houses as well. So the pair twins both have knives. I think that's what we're meant to see. Bat Lord. He's a person with a hat on. Do we have another Batley? Or are we meant to say that Bat Lord... I don't see anyone wearing a hat. Okay. So, that's not going to work for us here. So, we met so rarely after you left for the colonies. Let me see where this says. For my carriage for tomorrow, we are to visit my nephew. Ashblair Fine Tobacco. Then you have a note on you. You're seeking a new servant. Wait a second. David Gorn, experienced coachman. No, so that's David Gorn. Okay, I was seeing if there's anything else. Could this be Theo? We don't have Theo as a name, though. Ah. Okay. Yeah. What do you have you on you? Astonishing Monkey Man, property of the Pear Brothers. Yeah, unless you're a Pear Brother, but I don't think you are. Huh. Okay. I know we've been looking at the same 5 clues over and over again, but I want to try and solve it rather than just click things in. So you have a book. So I think Rose Kubert has to be the person with the book, right? Although, more than mere politics. So where's Rose Kubert on the thing? Direct, married. She could have left for the colonies, but probably not. Willard Wright, associate. Edmund Cloudsley is the oldest. Well, the oldest would probably get the estate, right? So I think that this probably sounds correct. Okay. Still think that this could be Rose Kubert. Which means this has to be Willard Wright. Which it isn't. Okay. All 4 are present for the reading of the will. All 4 are present. Means it's 4 people. Unless I've misjudged who you are. You have EC on there, but you have EC in the handkerchief, so... Let's see if we can figure out who people are then. Who are you? It must be Sebastian, someone. But who's Sebastian? No, Sebastian Cloudsley is Sebastian Cloudsley. Maybe you're a Batley? Because this is, like, there's another note here. There's another bet. So maybe if we're assuming you're part of the same club. So you could be someone Batley? Do we know another Batley? I don't know, but I think your last name might be Batley. I might be wrong there. Do they have any other notes? Do we have something on here? You lazy oafs. Adam and James. See his nephew. Was that a note that you have here? We were to visit my nephew. Could you be... I don't know. I was wondering if he could be a nephew. Now I'm completely lost. Laggard and Buck loans. Okay. I've already been through these, I think. Nicholas Maker, my dear brother Edmund. Oh, maybe you're meant to continue to use these. My dear brother Edmund, cut off. Is there like a D at the top of any of these? I don't see one. Dear Willard Wright, dear Rose Kubert. Are these in order, maybe? Wonder if we can see how it's cut into the corner there. Let's see here. Willard Wright. Rose Kubert is cut like that. It's interesting at the end. I don't think that gives us any actual help. Unless any of these have got any left over at the bottom. It's got like a little bit at the bottom like that. Huh. Yeah, that's not quite right. But let me go back to this again. Willard Wright. Okay. Rose Kubert. I'm sure I've done this, right? And just swapped these. Yeah. Peter Batley's definitely the person with the, yeah, he's definitely the person who's out money. Maybe it's this? I've got something horribly wrong. Rose Cuber, Edwin Cloudsley, Willard Wright, Peter Batley. Then we head here. Checking that these do all say that. Willard Wright, Rose Cuber, Nicholas Maker, Edmund. I think this has to be right. And I kind of thought that this had to be right. That doesn't seem to be the case. Now I am just literally just clicking. Yeah. Well, we've been here before. Yeah, so they're incorrectly filled in slots. There's no scroll or anything. Okay. Go back to this. Well, like maybe if we fill in some on the left-hand side, we'll get some stuff. But I still don't know who you are. That's my problem. You can't be Sebastian, because Sebastian was there. I would not have expected one of your family to treat a legal document in such a way. I'm appalled. So one of her family destroyed the legal document. They tore up. So somebody who looks like they tore something up here. I don't know how we would find that. Maybe he tore up. We have David Gorin as well, another name. We have, yeah, David Gorin. So where did we get that name from? Wasn't there. Wasn't there. Wasn't there. Wasn't on you. Nope. Okay. Speech stirs Parliament. Edmund Cloudsley's speech stirs Parliament. Wait a second. This has to be Edmund Cloudsley. That's Rose Cuber. Oh. So Rose left. I see, I had these two the wrong way around. The only one I was like, it must be correct, was wrong. Oh. I see. I still don't know who you are. But I think you must be David Gorin, because I don't currently have a David Gorin. No. Who is David Gorin? Ah. Maybe this is an explanation for why you shouldn't get every clue at once. How to avoid being upset. Nothing in there. Must have been outside that we saw David Gorin. I say with no real confidence. So my confidence is shot after the previous like looking around. No, you can't be David Gorin. We already have a David Gorin. I'm stupid. So you are somebody. Who do we think you are? Names we have, we don't have a lot that like points to you being anyone in particular. Is there anybody who we've heard about who we haven't identified on here? Well, we have Willard Wright. We have Peter Batley. I assume you have to be Peter Batley then. I was being stupid again. I was saying because it was over here, it couldn't be in the middle. Okay. So we know that James Payer died from spontaneous combustion. Okay. Okay. So there's a lot in here. So blank blank was to receive in blank's will. So Sebastian's will. This must be Sebastian's will. And ordered blank blank and blank blank to take the blank from blank blank. Okay. So, one of these is definitely idle. To receive this in... Was something to receive blank in something. Ah, Peter Batley was upset to receive aphorisms in Sebastian Cloudsley's, where's Cloudsley's will, and ordered Adam Pear and James Pear to take the idol from Willard Wright? Aha! Peter Batsley, encumbered by his his gambling debts, had placed high hopes on his uncle's testament. Upon discovering he had inherited nothing but a book of aphorisms, he tore up the will and ordered his servants to take the golden statue from the stranger Willard. Suddenly, one of the servants burst into flames. Ah! Well, we have done it. Wonderful. Next chapter. Ah. Chapter 2. The Cursed Inheritance. The Murder at the Little Mermaid. Okay, we have many things going on here. Okay. Let's start with this. Revenge. We have a picture of some flowers. A trapdoor in the ceiling. A dead man. The man is not breathing. A walking cane. And a ring with a ruby. Okay. Over here. We have an empty case. I see. Potentially something that used to hold an idol. To my dear Maurice. So I'd assume that this man is Maurice. Can we see that in thinking already? Yes, you are Maurice. Let's try and do this as we go through. Let's mark off things as we see them. It's a guy outside the window. Alarm! Alarm! A break-in! Watchman number 2, Henry Parker. Okay. And he has a lantern and a spear. Okay. Well, this is obviously Henry Parker. That much we are sure of. Shards of glass lie in the mud. So shards of glass lie in the mud, that implies that something was chucked out of the window, or something happened with someone going out the window, right? At least to me. Dear Proud Beast Master, I've attended our departed brother's send-off and accepted the keepsake that he bestowed upon our brotherhood in his will. I shall send this letter tomorrow, September 10th. I hope it will reach you without delay. Already it is midnight. I'll retire to bed, for this has been a long day. May Griffin awake, Proud Beast Initiate. Okay, so he's part of some weird club. A washing bowl filled with slightly bloody water. Okay, so if it's got slightly bloody water on it, it implies... Well, it could just be that blood splattered onto it, never mind. Doesn't imply anything. The door does not open, so somebody came in through the trapdoor? The door does not open. There's a picture of flowers, there's a trapdoor in the ceiling. Empty bed, not warm, so no, people haven't been in that for a while. Why did that bugger give me a note when he knows damn well I can't read? Rusty half of shears. A piece of stale bread. You can lie low for a couple days in the old oarsman's place down at the docks. Huh. Okay, potentially the person who performed the murder? Okay. Let's head downstairs. Okay. Tell me, what does that man have that I lack? A hand of cards, 7 pence, a key, and a small sword. Okay. Be calm, John. He was a perfect gentleman. He brought me a drink and then retired upstairs. So this is John. Now, John is wondering why she has not reciprocated his flirting, and he is saying that the person upstairs was just a gentleman and think nothing of it. Hand of cards, 2 shillings and 4 pence, a key, stiletto blade. To Annie, You are beautiful like a rose, for you I will take any blows. Annie, you are like a glass of wine, your hair is very fine. I will find gold in a mine if it makes you forever mine, your piglet full of love. So I'm assuming that she must be Annie, otherwise it's a very weird thing to carry along. Okay. Just deal the next one, it's all luck anyway. 3 shillings and 2p. A hand of cards. Remember, you as an agent of our trading company have to reflect its values to the fullest. Never be late. The client leaves the port on the 10th. Be persuasive. Do not take no for an answer. We must get the client's product. Be effective. Once you have the product, deliver it to me immediately with the servant boy. Most importantly, no matter what you do, be mindful of our reputation. Our names must remain spotless. A key. A dagger. Okay, so everyone has a weapon. At the Little Mermaid's Inn, Amazing Evan's musical performance on September 9th. Event shall commence circa 11 PM. So this makes this September 9th. And you must be Evan. Oh, mother, forgive me. I will never gamble with something so dear to me again. A violin. A Navaja folding blade. And a key. So he also has a key. So you must be Evans. Okay. Wanted, Robert Redruth, escaped convict. Could that be the guy that we saw through the window? Do you look like that person? So you got kind of scary eyes and a little beard. Yes, I think that you have to be Robert Redruth. Okay. Green, Greg, Blair. Okay. Is this people who are staying here? It must be, I think. We see what they're drinking? Well, you have some wine in your hand, but they all have wine. That doesn't really help us, but at least we got last names, I guess. September 9. Dandelion Room. Willard Wright, 1 night. Forget-me-not room. Ash Blair, 1 night. Okay. So forget-me-nots are blue, right? So that would be Ash Blair, who's in that room, which must mean the other room belongs to Willard Wright. Did I have a name for you? Maurice. Unless Maurice is the person who gave you the thing. Are you Willard Wright then? I mean, you could be. You had the idol, so I guess that makes you Willard Wright. So Maurice is the person who gifted him the who gifted him that watch. Okay, interesting. Where did that blasted boy go? I really need a piss. Large kitchen knife, various rings of keys, partially peeled lemon. Dear Oscar Boyton, it has come to our attention that the good owner of the Little Mermaid offers services to those who want to transfer products that are less than agreeable to the authorities. I'll come by in 3 days. If you still have some spare space in your gin barrels and are willing to earn extra money, reach out to me. So you're Oscar Boyton. Okay. There is material to be discovered, but we've got 26 to 26. That's interesting. The door to the street is shut with a latch. Okay. We'll work that one out in a second, but let me first of all look at this. So we can't really tell who's been drinking what from these 3 things. Okay, I was worried we were going to have to do this. So, Willard Wright. I'm trying to figure out where we're at here. So is this how each game went? M.E. So Evans has to be the last name. So you must be Maurice Evans. That would be my assumption. Maurice. And he said he didn't want to gamble with anything so valuable, right? So because the watch was dear to him. Okay. So Willard Wright, Maurice Evans. Those seem correct to me. So we have JB and Obi. Obi is obviously you. AG. Okay. So AG would make you that would make you Annie Green. Okay, I was worried I was going to have to work out some things, but I think this is okay. I might have to work out Breek and Blair, but that's okay. Let's see what else we got in here then. Back to this. Do I have this on the side as well? Do I need to use these names on the side? Yes. Okay, so that's Willard Wright. I would prefer them to be here, though. Emmy is Maurice Evans. So that's Oscar Boyton. J. Do we have a J? It must be John Blair or Breek. That is Annie Green. Annie Green. Okay, so how do I know which one you are? We have two J's? You must both be called John. If I have two J's, right? I think you must both be called John. Can I do that? I can. One of you is Breek and one of you is Blair. So Breek is drinking more than Blair. So we can assume that Blair is probably the company man. Because it says very specifically he has to have a spotless reputation. So you must be Blair. Yeah, so I'm going to say that you're Blair. Must make you Breek. Okay, no, that was correct then. Okay, so I got something else wrong in here. Interesting. What did I get wrong? Could your name be Ash? It could be Ash. Where did I get the name Ash from? Ash Blair, one night. Why did I assume you must be called Annie? Well, you do have a very weird note about Annie. Unless there's a note you've written to someone else. Your piglet full of love. It must be Ash then? No, you could be Annie. In which case I got something else wrong. So Ash Blair has a room for the night. Is your name Ash? Oh. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so now we can move these over here. So that's obviously Willard Wright. That's Annie Green. That's Maurice Evans. So Evans lost a lot, including the pocket watch. Then we have Annie Green. And then we have John Breek. And we have Oscar Boyton. So, on this one, it looks like John was having the worst luck of it for most of that. Okay. Then we have AG, which is Annie Green, John Breek, and Ash Blair, which I guess you were meant to assume that these people were here because there's less. They played less hands. Yeah, so that must be the current one. So I would assume that Ash Blair crept into. So I would assume here that this has to be Ash Blair crept into Willard Wright's room through the trapdoor. Although the window is shattered, but like, if we look at the window, right? This is why I don't think it's the window. So we look at the window here, shards of glass line the mud. That means that was out, that went out, not in. And if you were going to break in through the window, you would smash the window in. It just makes sense. So that seems like the only way it could be there. Empty bed not warm though means nobody's been in there a while. This guy's been told to, this guy has been told to lay low. But I don't think that's because he's killed this guy. He's already wanted. So that's why he's being told to lay low. Although there are gin barrels up above, so it could be that we're suggesting that it should be. Yeah, there is a suggestion it could be Oscar Boyton. Does Maurice Evans have keys? He does have a key. It could be Maurice Evans as well. He did lose a lot, but they didn't take the no, it can't be him because they didn't take the watch back, right? So yeah, it can't be him because he didn't take the watch back. This person came in here for the idol. So it has to be you. Sorry, it has to be you, I think. Yeah. While... Never mind, it cannot be Ash Blair. Because Ash Blair, Annie Green, and John Breek are playing cards with loud music. Although, wait a second, it could be. No. Take this back. It is Ash Blair. I understand what this is meaning now. Because it was actually Oscar Boyton who was playing with Annie Green and John Breek. Yes, because it was in the middle part, so that's when they did this. So Maurice stopped playing, Oscar Boyton joined in with these two. Yeah, a fight ensued and Willard Wright got stabbed with a... I'm assuming it is Willard Wright's room as well. Yeah. He got stabbed with a Navaja folding blade. The only option is it has to be the other way around. No, so that's correct. Wait a second. What did I get wrong then? Willard Wright got stabbed with a Navaja. Wait, maybe it's not the Navaja? You see what you got stabbed? Is there anything else up here? Suppose you went into Ash Blair's room and you got stabbed with a... Well, what could he have been stabbed with? A knife? A spear? It's unlikely to be a spear. This guy has the spear. Henry Parker has the spear. It's unlikely to be you. You're a watchman. What else have we got here? You have a large kitchen knife. You have a small sword. You have a stiletto blade. And you have a dagger. But maybe use the shears. Maybe borrow the shear? That just doesn't seem right, but... I'm sure it must be the weapon I have wrong, but that can't be right. Wait, no, we're saying Ash Blair did it, not Maurice Evans. Oh, it's a dagger. I'm stupid. There we go. Right. A man going by the name of Ash Blair crept into Willard's room through the trapdoor to steal something important. But when he opened the music box, it woke Willard up and a fight ensued. In the fracas, Ash stabbed Willard and attempted to frame an escaped convict. Okay, fair enough. Oh, what's this? Good morning, innkeeper. I heard a man was murdered here a week ago. Aye, a deranged convict did him in, now bugger off. Tell me more about the evening. When Willard Wright died, I will make it worth your while. Okay. Interesting. So somebody is piecing things together after we are. Okay. Well, I am going to end the episode here. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please let me know, and we'll maybe do some more of it in the future, as in, there are other cases. And I will see you tomorrow for more of the case of the Golden Idol.